it's me and the Frugal Chef. I hope you're doing very well today. Why don't we make some ultimate cinnamon rolls? Not just any plain cinnamon roll, ultimate cinnamon rolls. These are great. Let's make them. Melting half a cup of unsalted butter in this little saucepan. I will give you the grams in the written recipe that is always underneath the video in the description box. I'm going to add a cup of milk with 5 tablespoons of sugar to this. All we want to do is dissolve the sugar. We don't want this to boil or anything like that. It'll, once it's dissolved and the milk is warm, we'll transfer it to a bowl. Okay, if this is too hot, wait a little bit. It's not actually, it's perfect. But if it is, wait a little bit. You don't want to kill the yeast, okay? So I'm going to add a tablespoon of active instant yeast. And we're just going to mix this in. And we're going to just leave this alone and let it start foaming about 10 minutes. This looks great. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. In here I have a whole egg and an egg yolk. Mouthful. I'm just gonna beat it. I'm going to add that. Okay, we're gonna start adding our flour. And I'm going to add it a cup at a time. We're going to start mixing that in. We're going to use about 3, maybe 3.5 cups of flour for this. We're going to knead this and then decide if we need to add more than the 3 cups. I am going to clean my countertop and lightly flour it and dump this on top so that we can knead it. Okay, we're going to start kneading this dough, and I'm going to knead it for about 5 minutes, and if it's still sticky, I will add a little more flour, 1/4 cup at a time. I didn't really add more flour to this, but I did dust my counter about 5 times, not very heavily, and this is good. It's nice and uniform. It's still a little tiny bit sticky, but not bad. I don't want it to be drier. This is exactly how I want this. So now I'm going to just put this inside a buttered bowl, and we'll just... I'm going to cover this with plastic, and I'm going to put it in a corner in my kitchen that has no drafts, and we're going to let this double in size. It'll probably take about 2 hours. I would like you to line a 9 by 13 inch or 23 by 33 centimeter baking dish. I'm just using a Pyrex here with some aluminum foil, but I want you to have it hang over the sides. We're gonna need it to pull out our cinnamon rolls once they're ready. And I would like you to butter the inside with unsalted butter. We're going to need 4 softened unsalted tablespoons of butter for our filling, and I have 1.5 cups of packed light brown sugar, 1.5 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt in here. I'm just gonna mix that. Our dough doubled in size. It's perfect. I'm going to now put it on this lightly floured board. We're just gonna kind of punch it down. We're gonna roll it out into a rectangle. Now we're gonna spread that butter on top. And I'm gonna sprinkle my cinnamon sugar on top of that. Okay, now I'm gonna start rolling this dough. I'm gonna start from this end like this, and I'm going to roll it and tighten it, and I'm gonna make a cylinder. We're going to seal the edges, just kind of press them. We're going to cut this into 8 cinnamon rolls. If you want them to be smaller, you can make 12. So I'm going to calculate about halfway. Now we're going to place them into our mold. Now we're going to just cover this with plastic again. I'm not going to touch the cinnamon. Oh, obviously note that these are cut side up. We didn't put them sideways. And we're going to let them rise for about an hour, double in size, and we'll put them in the oven. We're going to put these in an oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 176 centigrade, until they're nicely browned and all the sugar in there has cooked and melted. And it'll take about, I don't know, we'll say 35 minutes, okay? So while our cinnamon rolls are in the oven, we're going to make our glaze. I have 4 ounces or half a cup of softened cream cheese in this bowl, 1.5 cups of powdered sugar or icing sugar or confectioner sugar, a tablespoon of milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm simply going to whisk this until it's nice and smooth. All right, so this is what we want, a nice, uniform, smooth glaze. All right, these took 30 minutes. They are nice and brown and ooey and gooey and delicious. I have them on top of a cooling rack. We're going to apply half of our glaze on them now that they're hot so that it'll melt and get all over the inside. We are going to let these sit in the pan like this and on the cooling rack for about 30 minutes. Only use half of your glaze. We're going to reglaze these in about, when they're cool. This is the last sin of this year. Thank God it's next year, next week. So 30 minutes have gone by, and now I'm going to pull out the cinnamon rolls and put them on the cooling rack outside of the pan. So now I'm going to apply the rest of the glaze. Alright, you can serve these right now, kind of warm. You can wait for them to cool down completely. You can do whatever you want. So I cut one in half so you can see it from the inside. Look at that. Oh, that dough is perfect. You've got that beautiful cinnamon sugar swirl. Mmm. Excellent. Mmm. Mmm. That's pretty fantastic. Mmm. The dough is very soft. It's very, very nice. And that cinnamon, we put a lot of it in there on purpose. It's just excellent. Look at that. Oh. All right, guys. See you soon. I really hope you liked this video. And if you did, and you give me a like and a comment and a share, that's going to be perfectly awesome. Thank you. If you haven't subbed, don't forget to sub. I'm going to have this recipe on the website waiting for you guys to come and print it whenever you want. In the meantime, eat well without going broke. I'm going to see you soon.